Welcome to the Popcorn Talk Network, for the online broadcast network that features movie discussion, news, and interviews. Press 1. Popcorn Talk. We talk movies. From the Popcorn Talk Network and producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, and Phil Svitek, this is iTalk Movies. Long-form interviews with leading members of the film industry. And now, your host of iTalk Movies.
Hey guys, welcome to a brand new episode of iTalk Movies. I'm your host, Yael Tygiel. I'm here with, I want to say a triple threat, but you're more like a quadruple or a number I can't even think of threat. Kent Moran.
Thank you. That's a very nice introduction.
Welcome. You write, direct, act, produce. You're a singer-songwriter. What can you not do?
Well, just because I do all those things doesn't mean I do them well, but hopefully I'm trying to. Yeah, I mean, it's more of a function of what I needed to do sometimes.
Okay.
So that's and I think it gives me good experience to help with the other stuff I do. So.
But what can you not do? Name something you can't do.
Basketball. I am terrible at basketball.
Okay, I'll take it.
Yeah.
I wanted like a definite answer.
That is, I mean, you watch me play basketball, you'll know that that's the answer.
Okay. So we are going to talk about some films that you made. Okay. I want to start with Listen to Your Heart. We're going to start there.
Okay.
Let's talk about this film. You wrote and starred.
Yeah, that's
but
correct.
You did not direct.
I didn't direct that one, no.
Let's talk about this movie. Where did the story come from?
So it was a bunch of things. Like I started as a singer-songwriter, and I always wanted to do something like that in a movie. And then I don't know how much I'm giving away here, but my cousin had passed away from cancer in real life. And she was such a positive person, and I wanted to, use that experience to help people like learn how to deal with loss. Mm-hmm. So I sort of wrote that into the movie as well. And I don't know. It just seemed like something I was passionate about, wanted to do. So that's the first thing I did.
When you were growing up, did you know you wanted to be an actor or a singer or what did you want to be?
I always wanted to be an actor and a singer. Yeah. I mean, those are the two mainly.
Okay. Can you dance?
No.
Okay.
Maybe. I don't know yet.
We're going to add that to another list of things. This is going to sound weird, but I'm excited to know things you can't do. Because at this point, I'm like, wow, this guy does everything. I feel useless.
No, there's a lot I don't do. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you don't dance.
No.
But you want to be a singer and an actor.
Mainly, yeah.
And how did you go about making that happen?
So I wrote the script, and then we got it out to Cybill Shepherd, who enjoyed it and came on board, and then we raised the money for it, and it just sort of all the pieces fell in. I didn't know what I was doing at the time, but it was a good learning experience, and we were able to make it happen. So. And
your character, not to give things away, but learned sign language.
Yes.
Did you know sign language going into this movie?
I didn't. I knew a little bit. Mm-hmm. So my uncle is actually deaf, so that's where that aspect came into the movie. So I always wanted to, show that because it's so interesting to communicate with him. Mm-hmm. So a lot of how they communicate in the movie is directly from that.
Oh.
Yeah.
So like your movies are taken from your real life experiences.
A lot of the things, yeah.
Right. Because let's talk about The Challenger, which is a story that you grew up hearing about.
Yeah, well, kind of. So my great-great-uncle was a boxer. Right. He fought in like Madison Square Garden and all this crazy stuff. So I have old pictures of him and heard old stories all the time. So that was sort of part of where that came from, the story. And I've always been passionate about boxing movies, loved Rocky, loved a lot of those things that were very inspirational to me. So I wanted to tell a modern day version of how a boxer could make it today.
Yeah.
So,
you didn't box before?
No, not before.
And then you started training.
Yeah.
Are you still training? You still loving it?
No. So I trained for like 7 months for this, and I wrote like all my boxing experience into the movie so that it could be like authentic. Mm-hmm. But yeah, then I edited the movie, so I basically lost all of it, and then I still jump rope and hit the bag and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that you take not only things you draw on things for your life, you're like, I kind of want to do this. I'm going to do it. We're going to make it a movie and I'm just going to do it. That's a great way to look at life.
Thank you. I mean, I'm always sort of a proactive person, so.
Yeah. What's the next thing you want to do?
The next movie.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So The Challenger happens to also star Michael Clarke Duncan.
Yeah.
And it's his final role.
unfortunately.
Yeah. What was it like working with him? Tell us about him.
Oh, amazing. We were so fortunate to get him, and then he loved the script so much he came on as an executive producer. So when the first time I met him was at the airport, and this is something he says actually at the end of the movie, but he basically says to me, there's 2 director actors I've ever worked with, Anthony Hopkins and you, so you better be ready for this. And then he turns and walks away from me.
Wow.
So I was like really intimidated, him with his deep voice.
Yeah.
So huge. But he was just playing with me, and he was such a sweet man. I learned so much from him, just everything that he did. As soon as he would do a take, like the first take was always amazing, and we'd do more, and then he'd improvise after that. He was just a great actor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I read that you would write the script and then you'd rehearse it and then let people improvise and feel the characters out.
Yeah.
That's such an interesting way to make movies.
Yeah, I feel like the best stuff, and at least in this movie, happened when the improvising happened, because you write something as a writer in a room alone, and when you get these actors that are so talented, like Esapatha Mergerson and Michael Clarke Duncan, and we're in these scenes together, it's like they bring something that I couldn't think of on the page. So I'll do 3 takes as it's written to make sure we have it.
Yeah.
And then I'll just let us go off. And sometimes it'll last 3-4 minutes, 5 minutes when it's a 2-minute scene.
Yeah.
But I can just pull that, later. And some of the best scenes, I think, are like that.
Where did you get this idea to do 3 takes and then let's see what happens?
Well, I say 3, but whenever I feel like we got it,
right.
That way. But with those actors, it takes like 2 to 3 takes. So.
Right.
Yeah.
So this was your first directorial debut?
Yes.
For a feature?
Yeah, it was.
That's a lot of pressure.
It was, yeah. I was intimidated by it. At first, I wasn't going to act in it as well because that's such a big thing to do. And I ended up, what happened was I was going to give the role to my brother, and he was shooting another movie at the time. And I just decided, I'm just going to go for it. And I think the pre-production and the pre-planning is what enabled us to do such a good job. And then I had a second unit director, John Michael D'Amato, who was great. He was there when I was acting. He would give me notes, and he knew all the plan too. So without him, I probably wouldn't have been able to do it as well. Right. Yeah.
It's amazing. I hear that, having to write and star and direct is one of the most difficult things a person can do. And I always wonder why. Why would you do it? Why would you do that to yourself?
I wonder that same thing. It's because I'm so passionate about it, and I think that passion can come through. Yeah. And it's because I care so much about the project. I think that's why I did it. Yeah. I don't necessarily want to wear all those hats every time, though. So, it is a lot.
Yeah. So people don't expect that to be.
No,
that's not the thing.
Not always. No.
So we talked a little bit about Justin Hartley. Because he's also in this film. Yeah. And I was pointing out that you guys look a little bit alike.
Yeah, we kind of do. So I was telling you that when I first moved here, my manager at the time was pitching me as like the younger version of him, which is a compliment, and I had never met him or anything, right? But I'm casting this role, and I was looking for someone who had experience in fighting on TV, and he, was first on the list, basically. And I go to the gym one day, and he's there. And I'm like, that's weird. I'm casting this role right now. Why is he there? But I wasn't going to be the creepy guy in the gym going up to someone, so I didn't say anything. So I said to it's a stupid thing, but I was like, okay, if I come back tomorrow and he's there at the same time, it's meant to be I should go up to him. And I did that, and he was there again. I had never seen him at this gym. So I was like... so I went up to him, and I was like, hey, man, I'm doing this movie, and you're perfect for this role. And he read the script, had lunch with me, and he ended up being totally cool about it and wanted to do it.
Wow. Did he notice that you guys look a little alike?
He did mention it, as well.
I was like, I don't think it's just me.
No, it's not. No.
The whole world sees it. So this movie is a passion project of yours, and it's something that you really care about. Have you looked into what your next experience is that you're looking at? Are you thinking about things?
Movie? Yeah, I've actually written my next movie already. I was sort of pitching a few ideas around town at studios, and each one picked the same idea, which I was surprised about, because to me it was like not the more marketable idea. But I think it is unique, and it is another love story, but a very unique one. And hopefully I'll be able to get that off the ground next.
And that's another one that you're going to write, direct, star, produce, sing, songwrite?
No. I want to act in it, and I don't have to direct it. So we'll see. Yeah.
Okay. Speaking of singing and songwriting, how is that different, songwriting at least, from script writing?
Totally. Well, it's much faster, and it's just a different medium. So I feel like different elements work better, obviously with a song than a script. But to me, it happens very quickly. Like I usually write a song in 5 or 10 minutes.
Wow.
If I spend more time on that, I feel like it's not passionate. I'm not passionate enough about it, or like maybe I don't feel like enough for it, so I sort of give up on it. So and I'll come back to it later, but if I'm not feeling it at the moment, I feel like it's not time to write it. So the singing, I started out writing poetry when I was a kid, and then that sort of transitioned to the singing songwriting.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you write lyrics before you find the music?
It's really strange. What I do is I sit down at the piano or guitar, and literally the first thing I start playing is usually what ends up being the song. Okay. And I'll just start, usually the melody first. I'll start singing a melody or humming it. And then I'll think about what do I want this song to mean? Okay. Or like what do I want it to be about? And then I'll just start writing stuff, and it's not great at first. And then like I got to work on it, but it's pretty quick. And
when you sit down to write a script, it's completely different.
Yeah.
I mean, aside from the fact that there's no music.
Yeah, my script process has changed quite a bit. Like basically now I outline the whole thing and make sure, because the rewriting process can take so long. So I like to sort of do that before almost and make sure I know every scene that I want before even writing it. So then when I actually write it, it's pretty quick as well. But it's a lot of planning before that, like months of outlining and stuff. Okay. Yeah.
And it looks like you were saying that you wanted to cast your brother in this movie originally. Yeah. Do you write a lot and think of, friends that you have that you want to use?
Certain actors or friends, that I think would be right for the role. I always want to cast the person that's right for it, though. So Luke, was right for this as well. Could have done it. But yeah, it is good sometimes to have an actor in mind, I think. Yeah. Yeah.
And I read that you were part of every casting for this movie.
Yes.
You were involved in every role.
I wanted to be, like, even the smallest roles. And I think
did you get to choose background people?
Sometimes, yeah. But we didn't have that many, besides the final fight, we didn't have that many background situations. But yeah, there's a couple great roles in here where I feel like they don't have many lines, but they really steal the show in the scene. There's one guy at the laundromat who his name's Hector, but he doesn't really have many lines. I saw in The Switch or something like that, and I brought him in because he just had he's such a great character, a unique look and everything, and he was like great. He was just totally improvising, and I think he steals the show in that scene.
So you can add casting director to your list of things that you do now too.
No, I don't want to do that. The list is too long. I don't like it.
So what of your? I feel like I'm sitting with a salad of talents that you have. That's what I feel like.
Thank you.
Of your salad talents, which do you think is your biggest passion, if you had to rank it?
Still acting is my biggest, but directing, I feel like it's hard to be a great director, and I feel like I want to grow into be a better and better director, and one day that might be the biggest, but right now it's still acting.
Do you want to direct stuff that other people have written?
Yeah, definitely. I read scripts all the time. Yeah.
Anything interesting that's coming down the pipeline?
Nothing that we've greenlit yet. Okay. That I can say, so I'll let you know.
All right. I expect to find out.
Yes, you'll be the first email.
I don't think that's right. I feel like your mother should know first.
Yes. Okay. My mother and then you.
Okay. Perfect. Good. We're all on the same page. So what kind of movies, when you go to the movies, what kind of movies do you like to see?
Oh, I like everything. I really do. Except horror films kind of freak me out. I sort of stopped going to that. But I love indie films, of course. But I'll also like Mission Impossible. This last one was amazing. I really enjoyed that. I kind of like suspense movies or intellectual movies, like movies about the future. So sort of all over the board.
When you go to the movies, do you ever see a film and get inspired to write something?
Yeah, definitely, all the time. Yeah.
And have any of those turned into shorts or songs? Those are like
not necessarily, but aspects, I think, of what I see sort of inspires me to go think about some, like something as conceptual and interesting as Interstellar was very interesting to me. I'm constantly thinking about like future and technology and stuff like that. So
next you're going to write a sci-fi movie.
There is a sci-fi movie eventually that's going to happen. I know that.
Oh, I'm so excited.
I'm not sure when.
I love sci-fi.
Yeah, it's good.
Awesome. This has been an amazing chat. We've talked about so many different things. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Why don't you let people know where they can find you on Twitter or Instagram or anywhere else that you might be?
Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Just my name, Kent Moran. I think it's Kent Moran Fan on Facebook. And then the Challenger film has a Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
And it's coming out September 11th. That's tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow it's coming out.
Friday. So exciting.
Please go see it.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It was great talking with you.
You too. And if you want to follow me online, I'm available at yael.tv. That's yael.tv. I'm also on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Google+, Facebook, all those places, at Yael Tygiel. That's YaelTygiel. Thanks, guys. See you later.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Popcorn Talk Network or its owners or principals.